reminder, if you're listening to this and you haven't played God of War, you should really check it out because it is a phenomenal game. And people are still finding things in it, little secrets. What's going on with this? There were hidden runes?
Yeah, so everyone, what's crazy is like the fan community around God of War has like continued to dive into this game because the Sony Santa Monica team has imbued it with so many secrets, and intentionally so. Like Cory Barlog has talked about it in interviews of how like they put these things in. They worked for like a year and a half on one secret in the game that people haven't found. Like they seeded all these things into the game really deeply. And one of the big hunt right now is Cory had talked about there is a final big secret in the game. It's not apparently big in terms of the lore or anything, but it's spread out throughout the whole game, and people think it has to do with these red box runes, essentially what they're being called. So there are runes in the game that
runes you can rent Blu-rays from?
Yes. They're surrounded by a red box, but they seem to be variations of runes that people know. So they're not explicitly like, this is the letter A, this is Q, whatever. So people are trying to figure out what those runes mean. And there are a couple competing hypotheses about what it may be, but one of them is that it has to do with the realm room and in terms of spinning around to the different realms in a certain order. Because there is one rune on there that I think translates to, I wrote it down. It translates to open lock without a key. So a lot of people think there is a combination lock in that room, or possibly in another room, that if you precisely do it, it may open up something else. There's apparently like maybe a sub-story in there. People think it may be the horns in the Valkyrie tombs. Like there are all these different competing theories.
I love stuff like
that.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I've been working on a book about cheats in video games for a long time. I'm going to finish it someday. I think I got hooked on cheats after the Graveyard Duck in Castlevania turned out to be fake. And I just got pulled into this. But the cheats are great in a couple of ways. One, they provide a fantastic creative incentive for people that are already working on a rich property to put a little extra into it, to imprint a little bit of themselves into the product, to feel like they're getting away with something, to be co-conspirators in a sequel. But they're also great marketing, especially deep secrets.
Right.
Because that means that every time a new secret's found, that story resurfaces.
Yep.
And suddenly the game that maybe nobody's played in a while pops back into the public consciousness, and you sell some more copies. I think that's great. And that goes all the way back to the age of the magazine, where sometimes secrets would be found months, even years later, and you'd go back and, oh, wow, you can go back and I didn't have this game, or I traded it away. I'm going to buy another copy, finish that. But it's also happening here. That's rad.
Yeah. My favorites like that have been like Batman Arkham. People found secrets in that game like 3 years after it came out, or 2 years after, which pointed to Arkham City. And no one found that room until maybe 2 months before that game was announced or came out. I forget exactly.
They just found a secret in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out like 2 years ago.
Which one?
That game was a 19. The guy in the background that's telegraphing one of the moves. There's a dude in the audience.
Oh yeah. He'll let you know when to punch people.
Yeah, and that nobody found that for like 30 years. That's incredible.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. I think one of my
It's like
favorite
inside betting, by the way. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
I think one of my favorite like cheats ever was in Heretic, which was like, kind of like fantasy Doom basically. And you could turn into a chicken. Like you could play. And you would run around the game as an entirely different perspective, and you had like a weird little first person beak, and you could peck people. And like I don't know how anyone found that. Like this was back, before the internet. Like you had to, like, your friend had like a crappy note card with like pencil codes written on it, and you're like, hey, just type this in and you become a chicken. You're like, oh, okay, why? How? Also, like, that was just a small snippet of this week's Beyond. For the full episode and lots more, head to IGN.com/watch/Beyond or subscribe to YouTube.com/IGN Beyond today.